Donald Trump is very clearly planning to run the same playbook from last time. We are watching a slow-motion insurrection. In these final weeks of the campaign, Trump and his allies are laying all the groundwork, getting ready to reject the free and fair result of this election if he does not win. That's plain as day.
Here we are, once again in the year 2024. Trump has not lost his base of followers who buy the same nonsense he sells.
If Donald Trump wins the 2024 election, will you trust the results?
Yes, I will.
If Kamala Harris wins the 2024 election, will you trust the results?
No. And I know that sounds like a double standard, but it's not.
Well, that is a double standard.
Well, it's not.
This is where we are. Proportions of the country cannot even acknowledge their own biases because they wish the United States was a monarchy controlled by their king.
And by the way, Kamala will not be your first female president. She will not be your first female president. It's not the way it's supposed to be. We're not supposed to have a socialist. Look.
Except, of course, when it benefits your own properties. This dude is the biggest welfare queen in the world.
What do you think's really going on in the country right now?
They're trying to push socialism through, unfortunately, and people are not informed.
And here they are carrying the water for him. I question if she is in touch with the socialist principles this man lives by while we all foot his bills.
Former President Donald Trump increased his extreme rhetoric, describing some American citizens as enemies.
I think the bigger problem is the enemy from within.
In a Fox News interview yesterday, Maria Bartiromo asked Trump whether or not Election Day would be peaceful.
We have some very bad people. We have some sick people, radical left lunatics. And I think they're and it should be very easily handled by, if necessary, by National Guard, or if really necessary, by the military.
This must be rejected. We cannot allow this man to take power once more, and yet...
Do you feel like there's a problem with the political rhetoric in this country? A lot of Republicans are criticizing Democrats, saying to tone down the rhetoric. Do you think rhetoric is a problem in the country?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. But I know if Kamala gets in, we're going to have World War III. So we definitely don't want her in.
And this is one of your top sellers here?
One of them, yes, sir.
And it says, Trump that bitch.
Yes. Yep.
The jokes write themselves.
I met the president in 1968 when my father was working for his father in Brooklyn, New York.
Did your father like his father? Was it a good relationship?
He worked at least 10, maybe 12 years on the Trump villages in both Brooklyn and Queens, New York. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. So that is the hero right now of our country.
You know, a lot of people accuse Trump of not paying bills in his construction company. You kind of have an inside track. Did he pay his bills? Did people like working with him?
Of course he did.
He always paid his bills?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Okay, because here in Erie, they've asked him for a $35,000 payment for the previous rally, which he has ignored. And they say he probably won't pay again.
Well, that's the way they're framing it.
I don't know. They sent him a bill for $35,000.
All right. He pays his bills. There was the best 10 to 12.
He got a bill for $35,129 that he refused to pay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's a good moment to head out then?
Yes.
Okay, great.
An obvious tell here, but this man supporting the former president should say this to Marty Rosenberg's face.
He promised if we did a good job, we would get paid.
He says Trump owed him over $1 million, and he wasn't alone. Rosenberg says Trump didn't honor the contracts of over 100 contractors who helped complete the Taj Mahal.
The man didn't pay us because he didn't have the money, bottom line. I said, we want to get paid. He says, well, how can I stop this meeting? I said, it's relatively simple. Give me a check.
After several rounds of negotiations, Rosenberg says he and the other contractors settled with Trump for less than what they were owed, with devastating results.
Some went bankrupt, some lost their businesses.
And this is just one example of, unfortunately, many that we can provide. The man is pulling a con job on the American people, and his base could care less.
Donald Trump is now calling for a government shutdown over unsubstantiated claims of voter fraud. The former president said late last week that Republicans in Congress should shut down the government if Democrats don't agree to legislation barring non-citizens from voting, which we note again, that's already illegal. Trump continues to claim, without evidence, that many non-citizens voted in the past presidential election.
He's doing it again, and his followers continue eating it up.
Any final message you would leave for Donald Trump if you were watching this?
Just watch. They're going to steal the election, and they're going to try to set you again because the Democrats are behind it. Absolutely.
You're 100% sure of all that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure that the Democrats are behind. They've tried to stop him.
Will you trust the election if Trump wins?
Absolutely.
Will you trust the election if Kamala wins?
Nope.
There you have it.
Indeed. There you do. It is hypocritical, but they could care less. It's a saddening tale of just how easy it is to deceive a massive part of the electorate.
If you count the legal votes, I easily win.
To be clear, this is what a massive loser does. When they do not become victorious in a hard-fought race, they cry and whine and moan about everything, except how they just simply could not get a W. This should be rejected, not embraced. However,
he was up about 600,000 votes in Pennsylvania. I woke up, he was down 60,000. Something's wrong.
So what happened there was they had a law in Pennsylvania where they couldn't count the mail-in and absentee votes until Election Day. So they were counting them throughout the day, and that's why you saw the number change there.
I don't believe that. You have a right to say that, but I got a right to believe what I want to believe. Right.
But that is the fact of the matter. Like, they couldn't count them until that day.
Well, I'm hearing different facts. I'm hearing something totally different.
Okay.
So
what are you hearing?
I'm hearing that things don't change that drastically. I've been around since Barry Goldwater. Things don't happen that way.
But it was COVID, so more people were voting absentee.
Saw a lot of people, doing absentee ballots.
And
semis,
early voting, things like that.
Semis of votes were coming in,
right.
And didn't look good.
Right.
And there was clear instances of cheating. Hate to use the word, but that's what I'm seeing.
they still fail to abandon ship and fall in line. Fun fact about this guy, he admitted to taking his 12-year-old son to the Capitol on January 6th.
I saw what happened. I watched that election, and I thought the election was over at 10 o'clock in the evening.
Of course he did, because he does not believe in anything but himself, even when facts negate his diabolical mind.
So you're in the family line from the Founding Fathers. That's an incredible thing.
My sister had it all documented and everything.
And do you think the Founding Fathers would have been disappointed in the failure of Trump to transfer power peacefully?
Oh, I don't think he should have had to transfer power at all. I think he won.
Well, but he lost in an election. That's one of the most important things in a democracy, is having an election and then admitting when you lose. Give me one reason you believe that.
Because I watched the votes at the end. The tallies just don't make sense. There was all kinds of they're showing hundreds of lines of different hacking from other countries that night. They're showing. I've seen a lot of reports. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
She doesn't know what to tell Davram Stiefler because there is nothing backing her point here. As always, the good liars are on the ground conversing with these folks who are still our fellow Americans and providing the insights we need to understand not just their talking points, but their mindset. For more updates, head to their website, sub to their YouTube channel, which is popping off, their Instagram, of course, TikTok page, which is also bumping, and please make a donation to their Patreon. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.